Let me to that machine. No, you can't go on now. Papi's doing his stuff. I can't, Professor, or you'll just watch me. Let me to that machine. No, you can't go on now. Papi's doing his stuff. I can't, Professor, or you'll just watch me.
Welcome to the Crimson Room, or something like that.
Ara. Welcome to the Crimson Room, sweetie.
Welcome to the Crimson Room. Please, take a seat.
No need to be nervous. The Crimson Room welcomes you.
Oh, welcome to the Crimson Room. You look so sweet.
Welcome to the Crimson Room. Enjoy your stay.
Hi. Welcome to the Crimson Room. Have a seat, please.
Welcome to the Crimson Room, darling.
Yara Daza. Welcome to the Crimson Room.
Oh, hello there. My master has been expecting you. Please, come this way and enjoy your time in the Crimson Room.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It is I, your sadistic spirit guide, Yoka. Oh my god, my fucking thing is being a little wild. Let me just get a little closer. There we go. Okay, so let me get everything ready. I was gonna say, how's it going, everybody? Is I, your sadistic spirit guide, yokai Papiwolf. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are going to be joined by our new amazing friend, Cinder. Cinder, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome, Sin. Give a quick little introduction to everybody here.
Hi, my name is Cinder. I am I went previously by the name of what they call me Scout on YouTube and Twitch. I'm a variety Twitch streamer. I also do gameplays on YouTube. I do voice acting. I do music, and I'm a writer. So yeah.
Welcome, bud. You are one of my newest friends, like meeting as I'm like kind of re-popping out into the world, and you have been such a joy, dude. I fucking love working with you. I love hanging out with you and just talking random shit with you. And we have some exciting things coming in the works. You are gonna join. You're gonna be a part of my 12-hour stream coming May 4th.
Yes.
You're gonna
D&D, yes.
You're gonna be part of the D&D block. It's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. You've never played D&D before?
I have not. I've had friends who have like talked about it, and I'm like, and I've seen like so many videos of like different people playing D&D, and I'm like, why does this sound so fun? Because there's so many people that make it look so fun.
Oh, it's fucking awesome, dude. And I'm not trying to like, I'm not gonna say like, oh, like you guys just like Critical Role. That's so over exaggerated, or you guys like this.
I've seen Critical Role. That looks really cool.
Yeah, and it's so dope though. Like I think like everyone can find something in D&D that they really love. Like right now, like I like making one shots. I like writing. I like for me, like getting like a chance to write a story or like write a template of a story and have like my friends or people play into it and like see what they do in that situation. That's the fucking coolest thing ever to me.
Right. But yeah, I'm so happy that you and I have become friends and we've talked and we're getting to collab and have things in the works. That's really cool. And before I say this, I don't want any of my other like streamer friends to like take offense. I promise it's not personal.
Nah, it's personal.
I know. No, not at all. I know they have a lot of other things going on, as we all do. But what I liked about you was that you, after I popped in your chat that one time when you were playing Final Fantasy, after that you started to reach out to me and just randomly started talking to me and like reaching out. I was like, this is cool. I was like, I like this. I was like, he's like taking the time to actually like reach out and like talk to me like on a somewhat like regular basis. You know, I was like, that's so cool. I was like, I've never had that before. It felt cool because it's like you're taking the initiative to initiate like a friendship. So I do appreciate that. That's really cool.
So the way I kind of work on like friendships and stuff, our days are going well, sunshine. The way I work with like, I guess I'll put it this way, like making friends, like when you put it like mathematically is easier said than done, because you're just like, all you need to do is converse and this and that. Just like speaking outwardly, it is like very difficult. But when you're just like now and then, when you don't really think about it, you're just kind of like, oh hey, like I'm just gonna keep talking to this person because they were pretty cool. It takes off that pressure of like, oh, like did I say anything weird? Am I being too forward? Like when you're able to just kind of send something based off of your humor and they get it. You're just like, oh, so you get it. You get that I'm kind of derpy, or this is the kind of ish I like.
Yeah, I did notice that because you had talked about Filthy Frank, and it was like, oh, I was like, yes, that kind of sense of humor. I was like, okay, I can click with that. But then I mentioned the new Idubbz content cop, and I was like, okay, I see where I see where this is going. Your sense of humor was like right there with mine.
Yeah,
really dark, weird humor. So
yeah, it has the like it's anti-PC, but not because it's going against PC, but because it's the worst type of like it's the most exaggerated worst type of humor anyone can do. and that's what makes it funny. Not necessarily like it's like that it's cringy, tries to be like too much. It's that because we all know it's too much and it's over glorifying like this mindset. That's what makes it funny. It's kind of like it's so you know what I'm saying, like horror movies, like they're so over the top, it's kind of funny. That's kind of how like I kind of view like Filthy Frank, Idubbz, Max Mofo.
Right, yeah. Well, what's so weird was I was watching the Content Cop, and Ian had mentioned how in the previous Content Cops, what he didn't acknowledge was that he was not being fair to the other people and giving them a chance to actually be genuine and actually see the human side of what the I guess quote unquote character they were portraying to be. But it's like, you got to remember, just like you, me, you know, other streamers, at the end of the day, all of us content creators, we're just people.
Yeah,
that's literally it. And people forget that element, and that leads people to treat other people worse than they normally would.
I think also too, like the fact that Idubbz, because Idubbz content comps have always been kind of like, I'm not saying humbling to the people he's going on in, but
they ruin their careers.
I don't know if it ruined careers, because he did one on Tana Mojo.
Okay, well, she is another story.
Yeah, oh god, she's a fucking story. But I am happy that like as all of these creators that started off like at 16, got famous at 21, got older.
Yeah.
They could see the egg on their face. They could see the, you know what? Hey, maybe we shouldn't be saying this crap, or we shouldn't be doing this crap.
Yeah.
That mind you doesn't take away from the fact that Tana used to fucking use the N-word a lot. And
oh god, yeah, and blackface.
Yeah, dude, like they let that shit slide so much, and now she's like, dude, I'm so fucking embarrassed by all that shit. Like, it's so cringy to be like that over the top. And then Rice Gum, you know, to be fair, no one's heard of Rice Gum, so I guess he has destroyed it.
Well, I was gonna say the other example would be Leafy, because Leafy fucking disappeared from social. Like, he just flat out just quit and just disappeared.
Oh yeah, good old No Chin Leaf. Leafy was a weird person. What I have like I want to say an issue, but what kind of like heartbreaks is how these commentary channels that like want to like strive for the moral like compass all have like those skeletons in the closet, and I think that's what like I think that's what Idubbz tries to kind of like expose, is like, hey, you're no better than the rest of us, but your skeletons, like, they're kind of dark there, buddy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is when you come after other people, you have to remember you also have skeletons in your closet. We all do.
Game. We're free game. You're free game. If you're gonna come in on me, you definitely can come in on you. Like, I'm free game here.
Right. Yeah. That's something a lot of people don't seem to keep in mind. Like, if you're gonna come at me, like, I'm coming for your neck. Like, there's no mercy.
You forgot to go for the neck, like the Thanos line.
Yeah. Should have gone for the head.
But what's funny to me about this new one, and I did like peruse most of it. I haven't watched the whole thing. Is like a lot of people are not aware that Idubbz and Ethan and PewDiePie, like all these guys used to be like,
they were friends.
They were all friends, dude. Ethan is part of the Content Cop. He's in he's in I forgot. I think it's the Rice Gum one, when they're making fun of him for always wearing Supreme. Ethan is in that. Like, it's insane that like eventually like Ethan will have to be Content Copped because he's off the fucking rails. I don't know if you ever watched H3 content before.
Yes. So I started watching E3 around the time when he was in that lawsuit with that other big company, and people were like, oh, Ethan's being sued, but Ethan's a good dude. There's no reason why he should be getting sued. So that's why I started watching, and I didn't watch all of this stuff, but I watched a good portion of stuff. And I was thinking about this. I was like, I want to be able to reach out to Ian somehow one day and sit down and be like, okay, let's have a conversation. Where do you feel like this went wrong? Because it went from him being the underdog to him being the person that was essentially suing him. He's being the evil piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I I think what Ian mentioned on the video, because I've watched the entire video, is when you bring what's happening in the world and all the drama and all this stuff as well, they're talking about, you know, stuff with Israel and Palestine and you know, the political stuff. And the thing is, with all the stuff going on, Ethan keeps bringing Anissa into the issue. And he was like, at the end of the video, he's crying and he's like getting emotional. He's like, when you're the target of it, and then someone brings your spouse into it, and you're having to defend them and yourself, it's just like, it feels like shit. It's like, you know, imagine someone saying really, really terrible, disgusting stuff about the woman you love.
Yeah.
You know, like it's gonna piss you off.
And I think we're like really like, because I'll put it this way, I used to love H3's content like early on and early in the podcast times when he would have like he had like a lot of fun people on, and he had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed like a lot of his takes and a lot of his struggle with like keeping weight on and stuff, and like before they had their first kid. But I feel like somewhere down the line, like he really just made content about like exposing people. And like, yeah, and when he focused on that, there are people he could have easily, like, I'm not trying to be mean here, but like there are people who were like, he went in on with like little to no like research done, that I was like, are you serious? Like, do you know how idiotic you look? You know how idiotic you make your fans look when you're going off of just like word of mouth? Like, you have no research, no evidence. Like, and when these said people show you said research and evidence, how that ultimately makes y'all look ridiculous. Y'all look, and then you double down saying, no, we don't, we're just getting the facts. It's like, no, dude, some people focus on nothing but facts, and they have them. Like, you just look like the sad old loser dude, and the sad part is you're not even that old.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, is Ethan definitely targeted people to the point where it stopped being, haha, look at this person, into like, let's
get them arrested,
just being, like just really nasty, mean, and hateful stuff just for the fucking sake of it. And I was just like, what happened to haha, you know, look at this person, you know, silly troll? It's just like, this person needs to be in jail, and it's just like, whoa, there's a gap here. Like, what's happening? What?
I kind of always,
oh my god.
I personally think it happened like after the David Dobrik stuff, where like him and like what's her name, Trisha, like when he was a Trisha, like there was just so much like drama that was happening on camera that it felt too personal, you know, like it felt way too real, and it was something we didn't need to see. And, you know, I'm not trying, it really does suck, because like I don't have anything against rich people. Like, I get it, people are like, everyone hates rich people, or everyone wants to be rich until like they see someone rich, and then they want to eat the rich. And
yeah, that's definitely an interesting conversation I think we all need to have.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to be a billionaire until they become a billionaire, and it, you know, but the issue I hear people bring up is like, yeah, you can have money, it's fine, but you're hoarding it. You're not doing anything with it to benefit the people around you, your community, your own people. You're hoarding it for yourself, and you're being greedy, and you're not even offering to, you know, for the lesser person, you know. And I think that's why people say eat the rich, because they're hoarding it, and then it's like, well, now they're keeping for all themselves, and now the rest of their country is falling apart, and they're like, fuck you, and, you know, not caring.
Yeah, no, I agree to that, and I think like there is kind of something like there was something fun about like seeing on some episodes Ethan going like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a fucking Rolls Royce with Trisha. Hers is gonna be pink, mine's gonna be black. I was like, or blue, I think. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's kind of baller though. Like yeah. I'm not trying to be like a glazer or anything, but I was like, yo, that's kind of cool that you're able to get like a Rolls Royce. And I did love when he was saying like, you know, I don't want to buy it because I like to just buy what we need. And
right.
I was really like a big H3 fan. I was always ready for his podcasts. I was like always excited whoever he brought on. but somewhere like I think he just got like, I guess the word would just be like, I think he rode the wave too long. Like Filthy Frank, like Joji, he knew how long to ride that wave before jumping off.
Yeah.
Idubbz knew, Max Mofo did, and I feel like Ethan really just rode the wave all the way to like the shore, and was still trying to ride it, and was still trying to be like, no, see, we're still the same old like crazy kooky fucking husband and wife duo. And it's like, no, you guys are not. You guys are parents now. You guys are going through a whole new life, and as exciting as that is, that would have been fun to like see. You just went into like a schizophrenic rant about how like a person that you once called one of your closest friends, because I have no horse in this race. I don't like Hassan's content. Hassan as a person seems pretentious, but I don't think he's overall a bad person. I just find him a little over pretentious. Him and Ethan are basically almost the same character in my book. These like very trying to almost gotcha journalists.
Yeah, so I actually watched a little bit of H3's podcast when like he would have like Joji on, or like another like content creator that I liked, you know, or an actor or whatever or like Tom Segura or whatever actor, comedian, you know, content creator, you know, and I would sit and I would watch it like, you know, and haha and kiki laugh and some of the moments, because there were, you know, some funny moments, but when it came to the whole stuff with Trisha, because I saw a good portion of the stuff with Trisha, and it was like, you're being unnecessarily really fucking mean to Trisha. Like, no, Trisha's not, you know, the best person ever either. Yeah. But I mean, she, you know, they're all kind of insufferable. But like, he was like taking it to a whole another level. It's like, damn, like Ethan, chill. Like you're being unnecessarily fucking mean.
Yeah. And she's still married to Hila's. Sorry, I gotta do a soft boy redeem. So I know this is gonna sound so weird.
No, you're good.
Also, Serenity, you're really knowing putting me in a little of a hole here. But what I was gonna say was, I believe I'm not really sure, but I'm kind of positive that Trisha is still married to Hila's older brother, and I know that was a big thing of contention with that whole family, was because of how Trisha is, but she married into the family. She's still married to the same guy. That same guy still technically defends her. So I don't know. It just seems really mean when, you know, you're coming at her and all her mental illnesses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about Trisha, to be honest. I know she was on like some TV shows and she was trying to act, and she, you know, had her own YouTube channel and stuff. Other than that, I don't know that much else about Trisha, to be honest. And as far as Hassan, I don't have an opinion on Hassan because I don't really watch his stuff. I just don't. It's just not my cup of tea. But at some point, like you said, just Ethan became insufferable when it felt like he just unnecessarily just became just like this, like, oh, I'm so much better than you, and you know, like on his high horse. It's just like, Ethan, like, calm down. You're not that great either.
Like, he did a lot. He, like, when the fair use between him and that one creator was a big thing, that was a big lawsuit.
That's another thing they brought up. Yeah, that's another thing they brought up. It was like, you did a lot for fucking YouTube, dude, for the whole like copyright stuff. Of like, cool, like that you did something good for the community you were working with, but now you're becoming one of the people where you're working against it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, Ethan, what are you doing? You've lost your fucking mind.
And it's also like when you watch like the newer episodes of the podcast, like you see like a lot of his all the people he basically pays are like, hey, back up. Like, they don't want him to say anything that's over the line, and he constantly wants, like, no, why am I afraid to say that? It's like, it's not about being afraid, it's that you're attacking people that, you know, technically are your friends.
So Ian made another good point because like I said, I did watch the whole video. Let's acknowledge Ethan is a grown ass man.
Very
Ethan
grown.
is a grown ass motherfucking man who can think before he opens his damn mouth. He's not a goddamn child that needs to be babysat.
Yeah.
He's a grown ass man who knows that his words have consequences. It's like those fucking people that say all this like terrible racist, bigoted shit, and then like, oh, it's free speech. No, free speech would be me putting my goddamn foot in your ass.
Yeah.
For saying something fucked up. Like, you can't walk around saying fucked up shit and then not be punched in the fucking mouth for it. Like, what?
Yeah, I think what you're referring to is like a lot of people think that free speech means you're allowed to say whatever you want. It just means you have the agency to say whatever you want, but consequences are damned whether it's free speech or not. And I think that's what, like, I don't know, I forgot what this TikToker is, but he's the guy who always helps people. Like, they find these, or I don't want to say they dox because it's not really doxing, but like they find these people who are like overly racist, overly just shitty human beings, and they're like, okay, so
Tizzy is one of them. Yeah,
it's Tizzy. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
But they always find them and they're like, yeah, so you're wearing your, like, I think the most recent one was this plumber guy who's screaming like F slurs.
I saw that one. Yep.
And his whole business now is shut down. His whole like
I saw.
And it's I want to say this, and it's not time. Like, I get it, a lot of people like get a bad rep for like being in the South because they're like, oh, all the South are just intolerable bastards. I have a lot of friends from the South that are very tolerable and tolerant, and it's one of those things where like you do recognize that it's not just you anymore in your views. Like, if you have a company, if you have a business of any sort, your name can get tattered. Your name can get, oh, thank you so much. I don't think I have a nice voice. I think I have a very medium, whatever voice, average. That's what I was looking for. But I think a lot of people forget that you have to pay people. You're going to have employees, and those people rely on you. But when you say out of the pocket stuff, these people are going to be like, oh, well, if we don't, shy away from this, or we don't speak on this, our lives are now going to be ruined because of things you said.
Yeah. No, I agree. But though, like, the whole like plumbing thing, it's like that. You can't just open your mouth and just say fucked up shit and just like, and not have consequences.
Exactly.
There's consequences to everything you say.
Yeah.
So.
I just really dislike what Ethan's becoming, and it sucks because you really like to see your YouTube, like the YouTubers you enjoy, like flourish. And it just seems like he just wants to, like, wherever he can, like, kick somebody while they're down. He tries to, or not even kick someone when they're down, but like kick somebody because they're getting positive following and positive feedback while he's not getting any of that. Like when he went after Mark, did you see when he went after Markiplier?
Yeah, I saw. It's like, oh, he's like faking his voice. It's like, you're talking about videos from before he started YouTube, because I've been watching Mark since like since when he started opening like fan mail, and that was like way back in the day. That was like early, or like I was a like fan from the get. Like I've been watching Mark for what, 12, 15 years or something.
That's about.
I've been watching Mark
the same.
Like 2010, 2011, 12. Yeah, Mark has always had that deep of a voice. Now, okay, so I've noticed what he does is back then he did the thing where he's not using his like actual like speaking voice. So when I talk like this is not my speaking voice.
Yeah.
This is my speaking voice. I don't talk this low because if I talk this low for too long, it hoarses out my voice. And it puts a strain on my vocal cords. So I have to pitch up my voice when I pitch it up like this, but it's also, I've worked in retail and fast food, so I've had to pitch my voice and be like, hey, how are you? But when I'm alone, when I'm like tired, now I'm sick, my voice drops down really low. Because when you talk like this all the time, it's gonna put a strain on your vocal cords. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
'Cause you're especially when you're screaming, you're projecting your voice out like this. All you know, it's gonna put a strain on your voice.
Well, that's
But
why I was gonna. Sorry, you go.
Mark has never faked his voice, ever.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say, what I was gonna say was, so the thing is, like, the reason why our voice, our voice gets like really damaged after talking so long when we don't pitch it up or pitch it down, is because in normal conversation we take breaks. You listen to what one person says and that, so like our voice has time to rest. But when you're constantly playing video games on a camera, when you're like really like viewed on, you have to be able to pitch it up and or something, because if you don't, you're gonna tire yourself out using your just whatever voice, your natural voice, your natural air, because you're not trying to conserve any air. You're just basically spitting out stuff from everything like that. So that's why when people are like, oh, he's pitching down his voice on purpose, or he's doing a voice, I was like, he's over exaggerating his voice. But it's the same. It's definitely the same pitch. It's definitely in that same very low tone, and he can go very high. He's a very talented man. We all love Markiplier, and I think that's the biggest issue.
I know.
Like he's been non-combatant for years. He has been a joy. He's let it be known that, you know what, I do make too much money, and that's why I give a lot to charities. It's because I don't need all that.
Yes, he does. He does, and
I think that pisses Ethan off.
I know. I think what bothers Ethan is he's so used to having people give him this validation and attention, and it's like he's become so addicted to it. Because when you have people that are just yes men and just say yes to everything and don't go, hey, what you're doing and saying is fucked up, like, chill.
Yeah.
Like, you're being fucked up. Like, stop. Like, you gotta have people that will check you. Like, hey, man, you need to chill the fuck out. Like I love you, but chill your shit out. Like, you need, I used to have a really, really, really close best friend.
Yeah.
Who I found out was actually family.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, but the thing is, the reason I had so much respect for her is because there's times when I stepped out of line or said something that was too far, she checked me on it. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, I love you, but you're being a dumbass. And I had other friends who became like family to me, that when I stepped out of line, because I do have a smart ass mouth, when I stepped out of line and said something out of pocket, they'd be like, hey, I love you, but you need to shut the fuck up. I had people that would check me. And another guy I used to hang out with did this a lot too. Anytime I would start to get pissed off, he would like check me. Or like if we're out somewhere and he knows I'm in a bad mood, he'd look at me and go, fix your face. Because he knows I'm about to say something really fucked up. And he's like, just don't say anything. Just. And I'd have to just shut up and just, and I've just had to learn to have a filter, because the thing is, I no longer have people who check me.
Yeah.
So now I have to, like, remember, you have to have a filter, because if you don't, you're gonna say some shit that's gonna get you in trouble. So over the years, I've had to learn to have a filter, because I can't just open my fucking mouth and say something sideways and not get checked for. You know, and I think that's what it came to Ethan, is he doesn't have people around him that are gonna check him and be like, hey man, you can't say that. That's fucked up. Like, you're taking it way too far. Like, you need to stop. He doesn't have people that will come in and check him. So he's now popping up the mouth and letting shit slip, and no one's, he has all those people, like I said, they have those people that he's on his set on the podcast that they just let shit slide.
yeah, his producers and stuff, they try their best to reel him in, and even at the times when like Hila's there, or she used to do it a lot, she would basically kind of like try to like, whoa, back up.
No, I disagree. I feel like Hila it just antagonized it and just egged him on and just like went back and forth with him and just would, from what I've noticed, or at least this is my observation, I could be wrong. I feel like Hila didn't check him. Hila let him, and in fact, antagonized it and fed on to the shit he was saying and doing, and never cared to check him. Now, I did see on the Idubbz video, there was one singular time that his crew checked him, Hila included.
Yeah.
And it was when he was calling women bitches.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's for the girlies. Like, it's just not something you can say, calling women bitches.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, I'll, no longer do that. And that was the one time they checked him. And I was like, okay, there's a start. I was like, maybe if there was more than this, he would chill out. Because he definitely needed to be checked. And they checked. That was the one time they checked him on it. But I was like, he needs more of that.
And I think what happens is he gets mad because he's like, oh, so these people can say it, but I can't. And he takes that real personal. But when a lot of the people that he's saying these people can say and I can't, he's referring to people who he's kind of tried to gone after, or people that he is trying to like make fun of for being ridiculous. But he wants to adopt their ridiculous behavior and try not, I want to say emulate them, but he does kind of come across like he's like, well, why shouldn't I do it? I mean, I'm in the moral high ground. Shouldn't I be allowed to say the same things they say, since I don't definitely mean it in the way they mean to? And it's like, well, no, because now you're just furthering the fact that people can say it. It's not like you're gonna hurt yourself. And then I also thought that same thing too, like Hila and them. Hila used to, I remember certain episodes where like he would go in on people and she'd be like, can you guys please promise me that he's not gonna, he's not gonna talk about these issues or these issues? And they're like, we'll do our best. And he'd get mad. He's like, well, I'm not a fucking child. Like, I should be allowed to talk about this. And I think a lot of it was family stuff regarding her brother and Trisha. But then that makes it even worse, because that just means that Hila's only cares about silencing Ethan or like checking Ethan when it's in regard to her family or their family and their issues. And but when it's these bigger global issues that can technically impact their family too, that can technically impact their businesses, it's a different story. I mean, they made their clothing brand is what really makes them a lot of their money, and that began simply just Hila just hand making the clothes or like making their own designs. Like, you don't if you want to see bad people take a hit, especially when they're just over the top, but then there's the little bit of empathy we have. Like, dude, you have kids, you have like people who rely on you. You would think you'd be more cordial. And I saw like a lot of people's like him getting mad that he was reacted to with a content comp. He thought that was like over the top, and it really shows that where his ego is at when you're like your own friends, people that you like fucked with and you collabed with, are telling you like, hey, dude, you were way over the top now. Like, if 2018 Ethan would have gone in on 2025 Ethan for all of the stuff that he said and done, like, that's what's insane. That's what like everyone notices about this, and what the content cop is kind of like reminded us is like, old Ethan would have devoured new Ethan in a heartbeat. He would have gone in on him. He would have wanted him to make his channel deleted. He would have like, dude, you're just a sellout. You just this and that. But like, hindsight, that's what it really all comes down to, it seems like.
Yeah. If you remember, even Ian, with the whole Tana Mojo thing, with the whole N-word thing, he was like, it's either all okay or none of it is. There's no middle ground. There's no gray areas. It is or it's not. Yeah. And you can tell he's grown from that mindset. And as far as Ethan having an ego, He definitely has an ego, but it's also let's say years from now, his kid or his kids are grown and they see old clips of him being what he's doing now.
Yeah.
How are they gonna look at that and be like, that's my dad? They're gonna be like, oh my god, like they're gonna be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like your dad, but it's also. I feel like Ethan's not as educated as he wants people to think.
He
or
isn't.
if he is, I think maybe it's misguided, or he doesn't know the entire full picture. Because it sounds like he's one of those people where he'll learn something about what's going on, and he'll only pay attention to a small portion and not zoom out and see the bigger picture. And he would just blab off in the mouth, and I feel like that's the main issue with a lot of people is they will only get a piece of the information and fucking run with it and not learn the bigger picture, because like you need to zoom out and see the bigger picture, what's actually happening, and take your ego aside from it and be like, what is the sole truth here? What is the main truth of what's happening right now? Why am I letting this affect me personally? Now, granted, he is Jewish, and the whole stuff with Israel, and I get that let's have empathy for a minute. He's one of those. He's Jewish, and his people are being attacked and being told that they don't deserve to live. He's probably scared out of his fucking mind right now, and he's probably doing this out of fear, you know, and that's, at least I try to have that empathy. I'm trying to keep that in mind of like, okay, all of the really terrible stuff aside, he's probably just scared and he's just trying to defend himself.
Yeah, and it really is a horrible situation, because there are, like I said, there are two sides to the story. And both sides are going through very difficult things. Both Palestine and Israel, they have like people on the side that are essentially victims by their own government's game, and that's the real tragedy of the whole situation. Is like there are innocent peoples on both sides that are being victimized, and it's all and done of like their it's all done in their own game. And I think that's like the problem with, like, I don't want to say this is the problem with the internet, but it kind of is. Like, there can never be a good side. It's either good or evil. There can't be both. And anytime you take a centered kind of a centered point of view on the situation, they be like, oh, you don't stand for anything. You're a paper person. And it's like no, I just I can recognize that there's two sides to a story. I can recognize that both sides can have tragedies in both of their ends, and yet still have aggressors on both ends as well. Like, I don't know, I forget who it is. I think it's one of Hassan's people, Frogren. Like, they just say whatever comes to their mind, and along the lines of what you said with Idubbz, when Idubbz was like, yeah, like, it's either all okay or none of it okay. That stand still holds true. Is like, either all slurs against people are, should be, not done away with, or none of them should, because, just because you're commenting on me for being white and like, oh, that's a very cracker take. Like, that's technically, it's that you're coming at somebody with a slur. Like, regardless of how hurtful it is or not, doesn't care. You're making an assumption about someone based off of their race, and that's why it all comes across like there are people in both camps that are just saying the most ridiculous shit ever, and like, somebody has to be the adult, but nobody is just getting up and saying, hey, can we not make this about this or make this about that, because there are more important issues at hand. But it just seems like everyone wants to feed into their own drama. I mean, I saw his content nuke, which was like, I feel like it tried to be a content cop, quote unquote, but that was full of so much misinformation that I was like, really, Ethan, dude, do you even do research? Like, come on. I gotta do a howl. Give me a second, bud.
Okay. Wow, that was actually really cool. I wish I could do that.
Dude, I dead ass load, like, I love wolves, bro. Like, wolves, like, I'll, like, listen to how they howl and just, like, the dragging they do and stuff like that. It's so fun.
My brother, years ago, before he passed away, we were hanging out. It was, like, late at night, and we were just, like, walking around, fucking around the town. And he goes, "Howl like a wolf." I was like, "What?" He goes, "How? Like a wolf?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Dude, just do it. He's like, "Come on, you can't fuck with me." And I tried to do it, and it came out so bad. I was so embarrassed. And he just starts laughing at me. I was like, "Man, fuck you." And we just laughed about it. But I also really love wolves because it's just one of the things I grew up with, like wizards and dragons, and my mom loved a lot of that shit. But
the best.
Yeah. But I will say, back to what we were saying. So I want to mention, growing up, being that I'm also from technically the South in the United States.
Yeah.
My family, or at least my mom's side of the family, extremely racist.
Oof.
Like, and I mean really dropping the hard, like, in our word, like, you know, the hard R, N-word.
Yeah.
Every slur under the book, and I went to school in a very where I caught the bus to go to school.
Yeah.
Is on the other side of town, which is the really predominantly black area, and which this is still a mainly black area, but it's not as but the area that I live in is predominantly a black area.
Yeah.
And the other side of town is the side of town it's the really bad, sketchy area where there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of people, you know, getting shot and, you know, dying. I remember years ago, before my grandmother moved, I shit you not when I tell you this, the whole family next door shot and killed. The entire house was lit up.
Jesus Christ.
Dude walked in and just shot the entire family.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then there'd be nights where my mom lived in that area just down the street, and it'd be nights I'd be laying in bed and just
fuck.
And I'm like, there's one night I heard a gunshot really close. I damn near thought it hit the house, and I fucking ducked and hit the floor. And I was like, what? I was like, are we being shot at? Then, like, a few minutes later, I just hear, woo! I was like, oh no. I was like, who got shot this time? So, yeah, I grew up in a very...
The word is ghetto.
Predominantly... Yeah, I didn't want to say... Anyways, so that's the background that I come from.
Yeah.
And being my family were the only white people over there, they didn't like it. I used to get my ass beat. I got picked on and I used to get my ass beat before I got to school, man.
Oh, fuck.
And then getting off the bus, I got my ass, like, there was one day I'm like getting off the bus, and I shit you not, I get punched in the side of the head. To this day, I still don't know who did it. I'm like on the ground holding my ear, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, who the fuck just hit me? And I was just like, I still to this day, I don't know. There was times that the kids would pick on me because I was white, and they would punch me and beat my ass and shit. But eventually, I like defended myself, and they were like, okay, well. Anyways, sorry, tangent. My point being that's how I grew up. I was never angry because I was like, I'm in their living area, like yeah. I'm where they live, and it probably wears them out that there's white people in their home that they're and I really hope that doesn't sound so bad.
I could clean it up for you. I can kind of like clean it up. I think what you're saying is like it's hard for them not to like see you like as an outsider when they've kind of grown up in this type of environment, and you're coming into this environment and they're only used to seeing like other black people or like other Mexicans,
Yeah.
or like to see someone like you, it's almost like, oh well, this person is just here to be here. Like you're not really like, basically I call it you haven't been in the mud with us, is a term I use when like people ask, like, because I have had black friends who are like, yeah, I let my Mexican homie say the N-word all the time, and I'm like, oh word, okay, I get it. And a lot of people are like, no, I don't get it. Why are they allowed to say it? And it's like, it's the idea of they grew up in the mud together. When you grow up in like the struggle, like there's like this brotherhood, and and it does kind of suck. But I'll say this just to like round off the point, so it's not just one-sided. I have white friends who are like, who've grown up in like the ghetto, and who speak Spanish, who are like very like who've gone through the struggle, and are, I'm not saying I will say neither nor, yes or no, but they have a pass, and they've been always backed up on the fact, because they grew up with that like struggle on their chip, or the chip on that shoulder, that they don't fit in with the rest of the like other white people, because these people don't understand like this or that, or like when they talk about this, they look at them weird, like, what do you mean? Like, why would you say that? And it's like, because it's the truth. Like, I grew up this way. Like, this is who we are. Like, and just to round off your point, so that way it didn't seem like you were too like leaning on one side.
Okay, well, the point that I'm trying to make was, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
I'm not. I absolutely have so much love for people of different like ethnicities and background.
Yeah.
You know, and I have so much respect, because like I put myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
And being that I came from the mud, from the dirt with these people.
Yeah.
They're like, they become like family. So like now when I'm like around like other like black people, I'm like, oh, this is family.
You get comfortable.
Like, these are my people.
Yeah, you get comfortable. You don't feel uncomfortable.
I'm like, oh, well now when I'm like, oh, these are, well now it's like, I don't understand racism, because it's fucking stupid. We're all human. That's my point, is that we're all human. We all cut and bleed red.
Yeah.
So it's all love all around. So that's just my point. But that's how my family was. I was like, I don't want to be like that, because who wants to be like, you know, all that hate and envy and just so much animosity towards a group of people who bleed red. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's stupid.
I always say this. It takes a lot of effort to hate on something than to like appreciate or love it. And when you put that much energy to hate on something, it kind of comes off as like you're obsessed with it, because nobody else puts that much energy into it. And I think even I don't like giving him his flowers. Well, no, I'll say this. I'll keep it neutral. I don't mind giving him his flowers despite my own takes on him. But the fact that Hassan constantly like gives Ethan his flowers too, or like Hassan is constantly like reaffirming what I just said earlier about like I had no ill will against you. Like, I was perfectly fine just us having two different things, two different like opinions on everything else, and just kind of, I'm trying to be the grown up here, and I'm trying to have actual conversation with you about, hey, I really do hope we could, if we can't work past this, I hope we just keep it cordial. And for it just comes off like, okay, so then why is, so we're really just gonna have a grown man act like a child and purposely just parade himself as the moral high ground on the internet? Like, it just goes to show, like, you know, eventually everybody, if they don't check themselves, will become the very you know, the very thing they sought to destroy, or the very thing they sought to bring down. Like, he became the big YouTuber with all the power who wants to dictate what's right or wrong, and he just guises it now with like, oh well, I'm in the moral high ground because I've been doing this for so long now. And it just comes across like very, like, if you think about it, like, who has been doing YouTube as long? Oh, there's YouTubers who've been doing it longer, who have now since either moved off the platform or have just I don't want to say grown off the platform because that just sounds like a little mean, but a lot of people who have just simply just moved away and done other content or decided to change their content into different forms. Ethan has been running this podcast for so long, and this type of content where he attacks people and he reports on stuff, and like, yeah, some of it was pretty good, some of it was inciting. Now it just feels like the same slop that a political slop, just with funnier humor or just with attempted humor, and it just doesn't really land because it's not smart. It's not like Colbert or all these people, Bill Maher, who are like incisive in political science and know like the ups and downs and ins and outs. Like, this is just like a guy commenting on politics who has like a base level knowledge, not even research knowledge, base level knowledge, and is going on to like say, oh, that person's a terrorist, and he's putting these big claims on these people, like, and it's not even like artistically like inclined for him. It's really all just ego and anger, and he like to hate watch somebody's content and go, oh, okay, is there any way we can contact somebody at Twitch to, you know, use that against them? We can't. Oh, Twitch is so fucked. And it's like, no, what is your beef, buddy? Like, you stream on YouTube. What if he starts streaming on YouTube and now YouTube's giving him money? YouTube's so fucked. They're like, wow, yeah, great, awesome. Like, everything is fucked if it doesn't listen to Ethan. Everything is not is against Israel if it's against Ethan. It's just like, oh my god, dude. Like, I don't know. I know we've been ranting about this stuff for like a while, and this is just like a fun, like, this is a fun discourse between homies. I just wanted to like talk about this because it gets so it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll get into more other stuff later. Like, I did want to ask you more questions about yourself later.
Okay.
But I just like, so we can like, I almost say wrap the points, or we can get towards our final thoughts. Like, it is telling that a content cop came out after all these years based off of Ethan. It's just very telling.
Right. My final thought, my roundabout point is, I have tried to not really talk about all this stuff going on, and a lot of people I've noticed are like, if you stay quiet, then you're okay with what's happening. But the thing is, I've been quiet because I'm trying to do research, and I'm trying to hear everybody else out and get the full picture, because I want to be educated on what's happening. So that when I do speak, when I do open my mouth, it's educated and it's well informed, and I can go, okay, well, here's what's happening. Here are the facts. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I want to be a voice for people who don't have a voice.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I think our point of view of like having empathy for both sides and having empathy for the people who are struggling or going through these issues is not us being silent on a matter or not taking a side. It's us picking the people who really need our support, or really need our empathy, and that's the people who are suffering from both of this side. And I think I hate that idea of like, if you don't stand for anything, you are nothing kind of mindset, because it just comes across as you're telling me that I have to stand for a point when I'm not educated, or like, if I'm telling you, oh, well, let me just get all the facts and educate myself and like, you know, drink from different wells before I can form my own opinion on a situation. Like, if you don't let me take that time or like actually put in that work, then you just want me to be a zombie, just a zombie on your side. You just want me to be a drone on your side. That's all. Like, that's what it really like infuriates me about like a lot of these issues, is like, okay, so you want me to have an opinion, well, let me research the opinion. They're like, no, you need to like, you need to know this. And I'm like, okay, I heard that, I did hear that, let me follow up and look at this other thing too, so I can, you know for sure. Like, well, you don't trust me? And it's like, do you know how easily the other side could say the very same thing to me, and me just based off my knowledge? But they're the bad guys. And it's like, I understand they're definitely in the majority sense, they are definitely not the side that I would follow, but there is facts that I need to be. I can't just follow a side blindly, even if I know that one side is more intolerable than the other. I still need facts. I still need to do research because
Right.
then I look like an idiot just like them
Yep.
if I'm not informed.
Exactly.
I gotta do something real quick. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
I agree.
Melissa. There you go. I had to do that for. It was a redeem that they
No,
redeemed.
you're good.
Redeemed a minute ago.
No, you're good.
But yeah,
I've seen most of your redeems, so I'm like, okay, this is what I expect.
but just like I think we kind of came to like a nice overall like final thoughts on this issues, or not even issues. It's just a content creator and his projection at this point now.
Yeah.
I like his avatar. Thank you. Oh, are you saying me or are you saying Sin, Melissa?
It's probably your model because you have a really cool model.
I have it all. It's good. I love it. I love it because I paid for it. That's why I love it. No, I love it because
Yeah.
I love it.
I actually I paid for my model off of Etsy. It was like $12.
That's not bad.
I was like, well, because before I was using this one, it was another model, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, I liked the, but I wanted something a little more like e-boy-ish, so I went with this one. I was like, okay, I like this one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh wow. It's still awesome. Thank you. So I did want to ask, like, what began your streaming or your VTubing journey? Because like you said, you just bought this model for like $12. Was that like something on the whim, or was this something you were always thinking about?
Funny enough, you should ask. I was kind of something on the whim. So I recently had been going through when I'm watching like TikTok and Twitch. I had seen some cool VTubers, and I was like, this looks so cool. I was like, this looks a lot of fun. And I was like, I want it to be like, oh, I want to be a VTuber because it looks fun. But then I heard that it's really expensive. It's like, $400 to $800, to like $1,000, and it may be 6 months to a year before you get the model, and you have to rig it. And I was like, that's so like expensive and time consuming. I was like, I don't have that kind of money or time. And I was like, I was just scrolling through Etsy, and I was like, I was just looking at different models. I was like, oh, I like that one. And just like, here you go. And then I got my background also, which is the throne. That was also, I think, like $12. But yeah, it was more of just a whim, though. But as far as streaming in general goes, I've been streaming since 2018, 2019.
Okay.
I've been making content on YouTube since 2012. I started as a vlogger, and then that died out, obviously, because I was part of the vlogging community. And then when that died out, I then got into making music, and then doing what Mark has been doing is the gaming playthroughs and let's play, and I started doing that. But streaming, I didn't start streaming until about 2017, 2018 was when I started streaming. And I started going by the name, my name is Scout, because I liked Scout from Team Fortress 2, and I liked the idea of being like a scout sniper, and that's where that username kind of came about. And that was a username I had been using for so long over these years. But then it was also my gamer tag on PlayStation and on YouTube and Twitch. But what it kept annoying me was people would fuck my name up so hard, and I got frustrated with it. I was like, okay, I want to rebrand as something different. It's like, does nobody know how to fucking read? Oh my god! But now, when people see my new username, they're like, oh, it's Cinder. It's just it's easy, because it's Cinder. It's usually like Cinder like underscore, or it's like spaced out. Now you can actually like see what it says Cinder, and not like one whole username like bunched together with different. So, yeah, I've been streaming for a while, and it's been a very long journey, and it's been both really awesome and very frustrating. So being that I've been making content for a while, I get really bummed out and frustrated because I'm like, damn, like I should be farther in my journey and I should have more subscribers and you know, and I'm like I should be farther than I am because I thought by now I would have blown up with my content, and that hasn't happened. And I'm like, damn, I want more attention and to be a bigger streamer, but it's like it takes time, and I don't know. So, but I've been streaming for a while.
And I get that, like that sentiment of like, dang, I've been doing this for so long, I should be a lot farther along the journey. I think I was talking to a VTuber the other day. I think his name was Sephiro. Shout out to Sephiro, who was telling me, he was like, I've been doing this for like 11 years, and I thought I would, like, I'm trying to make income off of this. Like, I really want to like make this my career, and I understand that sentiment, because I mean, I think everyone would love to make this a career. Everyone would love to like make income off of something like streaming and having something they love, like playing video games and whatnot. I think what like boils down to it a lot too is like there's so many different, like, I don't want to say there's like you don't ever miss the mark. Like there are people like in their 50s or 40s that get famous who are like, not even like just in general, like I'm not even like in streaming, I'm in general, like just actor wise. I don't think Harrison Ford became a famous actor till he was like 32, 33, and I believe he was just a carpenter at the time. Like it's really one of those things where like you're never too old to like hit your spot. I think Samuel Jackson was another like old actor too, but like you're never too old to like, you know, blow up or hit the spot. I think what it really just comes down to is like, I don't know, it's I think my professor used to say, like, to like be a famous actor, he used to say about being a famous actor, you need talent, you need to know people, and you need luck. Or no, I think you gotta be good looking too. I think some of that, he's like, you gotta be good looking, you gotta have talent, and you have to have luck. He goes, most people have one, seldom have two, but it's the rarest to have all three. And
yes,
and I was like, oh my lord. And I really do feel like, who dat? This is Sin Tran. This is Sin, aka Cinder. But what really, like, I guess I don't, a part of me always feels, because I feel sad when I hear people say, oh, like, I really wish this, like, should I just give up if I'm not doing the numbers I want?
Yep, that's where I've been.
It's a tough notion, because I feel bad, because I'm someone I probably have only done this, like, content creating I've always made since I was 2015, 2014. I used to love making YouTube covers of like my favorite songs and metal songs and shit like that. I used to do screaming covers and vocal covers. That was like my favorite thing to do. I never thought I'd be famous, but like I always thought, like, oh, this is gonna help when I eventually make a band, and you know, we need to like hit some eyes on us. Then, like, I did try to make content. I did try to be like a VTuber, like not a VTuber. I tried to be like a YouTube gamer like a long time ago with like a shitty microphone and a PS4, playing like games I play now. And like doing it now, it's very different. And I say this because like I did have, I wouldn't say I had a quick rise, but I did have a semi big blow up when I was doing more lewd content. I was single at the time. I was doing more lewd content. I was hanging around more lewd people. Like that was like a go-to thing, was doing that. And I wouldn't say I was I'll say that I think I was abusing that power a bit. Like I was stepping over certain lines, and although some people really didn't check me, or some people probably did, I definitely was I just was not healthy at all, in my opinion. It was just very it put me in a bad headspace. It put me in a bad position of power that I didn't know or respect. And it really, after I stopped doing that, my content really froze for a bit. Like I really wasn't seeing, like, you know, I wasn't doing the views I wanted. I wasn't doing this, and a part of me was like, damn, should I just quit streaming altogether? And I had just gotten with my partner, and I was like, no, I just gotta rebrand. I just gotta do things differently and find my sauce again. but just change the recipe and just take out a couple of ingredients. And it took me like 2 years because I was on and off again streaming. I was just making content clips and stuff, and it really wasn't till like streaming on Twitch and stuff, like changing like my viewer base, like, or like kind of, I won't say shopping around viewer bases, but like positioning myself in different spaces, that I have eventually like found a sense of resurgence. Like I used to be stuck at the number 345 for like 2 years, and it's only been like towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we're approaching the middle now, that I was able to hit a 500 goal that I had like for like 3 years.
I saw, and I was like, I'm so proud of him. I was like, I knew he could do it.
Thanks. But it's one of those things that I was like, for a long time, that like I was doing my best to like reach that goal, or maybe I wasn't doing my best. Maybe I was just making it a necessity to try to hit that originally, and I was really stuck in this location where like I don't know like what I was trying to do with content. I think I was, because a lot of people like, I think I do pretty good content, and I thought I did pretty good content, but I think I do. Oh, I would say this: I do okay content. Great content is when like when you're able to like really capitalize on everything and stuff. I do okay content, but what I really think I did really good was I had a great concept for a show that I brought back, and it's what really revitalized my channel. Like there is this I've had this show before, and it did help me meet new people and really branch out. And I think that's really what the hard part is about VTubing, is you are going to have to spread out. You are going to have to like put yourself in other people's like crosshairs and talk to them, and you know, make friends with them, because you really can't do this alone. And I'm not saying like you have to just collab every week, but there is like, you have to start building a relationship. There is, people can see, as much as a lot of people like don't think others see it, people see genuine relationships, people see genuine friendships, people can see through like they can see through the bullshit. So if you're just being cool to somebody for their numbers, or you're just being cool to somebody because you want to like, you know, get their content on your side, like people see that. And I think that's what has been working overall for me, is I've genuinely just been myself. I've genuinely been me, and I am genuine with everybody I get to hang out with and talk to and really like shoot the shit with and have fun with. And I think everyone kind of like resonates with that and goes, okay, like that guy, he kind of gets it. I don't know what he's getting, but he gets it. And then that's what kind of like, almost say propels me, but I think that's what's been putting like second wind in my back. That's what's been allowing me to like make these new goals and really like kind of branch out. Like I've met so many fun new people in these past couple months. I met you, I met Akari, I've met Juvie, I've met my new friend Aria. Like I've met a lot of these new people just by engaging with people's content and like going, oh wow, this person is cool. And it's I wouldn't say it's a sad reality, but it is kind of, it feels bad when somebody goes, hey, like, oh, thank you for like engaging with my content, and like you seem really cool, and thanks for like checking me out. I'm like, what do you mean thanks for checking me out? You do great stuff. Like I'm just here to, you know, be a fanboy for you. And then they're like, really? But you got this going on, you got that. And I'm like, wow, I don't really see it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like, oh, you don't really see the impact you have until somebody else tells you it. That's how I felt, and that's how I still feels like when people try to tell me something like that. I'm like, really? Like I'm kind of basic. I've seen some of you guys' editing techniques. I've seen you guys, the music you put out on your like socials. Like I'm small potatoes. You guys are the real like artists here.
Yeah. So ever since I rebranded, what I didn't realize, what actually was helping was networking. Networking is so fucking important, and I didn't know that then, but I know that now. Before I, you know, really started getting into like streaming like super seriously, or at least tried to, I was just streaming just because I was bored. I had time. I didn't, you know, I wasn't working at the time, and I just had, you know, a lot of time on my hands, you know, but I wasn't taking it so seriously then, because before I really started doing more serious now, or at least I tried to, it was just for fun. But now I've gotten to the mindset where it's like, okay, well, I'm trying to get out of this system of working a dead-end 9-to-5 job and, you know, barely scraping by, you know, and I'm like, I'm trying to break out of that so I can be like, oh, well, now I have a platform that I can fall back on and make money off of and monetizing and doing something both that I love, but that also allows me to benefit financially from it. But networking, like I said, I've met you, and that's been really awesome. I've met a few other streamers that have been really awesome. One of them being this one streamer by the name of Venomous Nix. Her and Kieran are really, really funny. They're from Ireland. Oh my god, funniest fucking people I've ever met. Her or them. Another streamer. Her name is Vex. She used to go by a different name. She also rebranded recently. I don't remember what it originally was. She's cool, and her husband's Rusty Nails. He's cool. And then Sinspired. Sinspired is from Britain. He's really funny. He's also a VTuber. So much love to all of them. And then another VTuber here in the US. She goes by Alien. She's really cool. I've definitely clicked with her, and you know, but I've clicked with all of them because I've been networking with them, but not so much as networking as far as like content watch. Just like I'll pop into their channels and I'll watch them, you know, stream, and I'll just be a friend instead of like, hey, let's collab. And I'm like, hey, like I think you're funny and your content's really great. You're an awesome person. I enjoy your content and I watch because they're entertaining, you know, and I, in the back of my mind, I'm like, these are the kind of people I want to make friends with, and not just, oh, it's just, you know, collab and I'll, you know, get all this attention. Like, no, it's like, these are people I want to surround myself with because they're funny and entertaining people, and I'm trying to build a community for myself.
Yeah.
And I do want to take a minute and say something kind of serious.
Go ahead.
I want to mention to anybody that's been watching, that I've been interacting with on my Twitch and TikTok, whatever. I have really bad mental health issues, which is another reason why I have not been streaming and making content and stuff here recently. I started building a community, not just here, but like outside of like other stuff, because I'm also a witch. I'm part of a coven. I'm trying to build a community for myself to fall back on, so I can surround myself with genuinely sincere people that care about me and that want to see me progress and get better in life. And I'm struggling. I just don't like to talk about it a lot because I get really worked up about it, because it sucks, because it when you struggle with mental illness, it makes you feel so defeated. And that's when times I'm like, damn, I should really give up streaming. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not making any money. I'm not making friends. That's why I'm trying to build a community for myself, because growing up, my family was very abusive and toxic and terrible, and it gave me a lot of mental health issues. And I spend a lot of time feeling like, damn, no one cares about me. What's the point to live? What's the point why should I keep living? It's not like anybody cares. And plays and repeat in my head. Like, now I'm trying to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I've built myself a community, and these people care about me and want me to continue to stream, to do better, to live a happy life, because it's like, these people care about you because you've made this community. So I'm trying to build a community for myself to fall back on, to have people that care about me and not just be a transactional thing. Because I want it to go both ways. So
yeah, and if you allow me to be serious too, bud, I have I don't know what the exact term for it is, but I call it like ADHD, like too many things done at once, where I sometimes, like, for example, like I have to do something, let's say I have to wash dishes on some days, like I have so many other stuff to do that it's hard for me to do the dishes, because I'm so hyper focused on cleaning this or doing that or doing something else, and it gets to the point where, like, sometimes I'm like, dude, it's been like a couple of days, I really need to do these dishes, and it becomes demotivating after a couple times.
I get it. Yeah.
And even cleaning my house, like, that's another, like, for me, where I'm like, dude, like, I need to fucking clean. Why haven't I cleaned? And I start really picking on myself, like, come on, bro, you're supposed to be a provider, you're supposed to, like, you're supposed to be a good husband, you really need to, like, do better, you really need to, like, mop the house, clean, like, there's so much more stuff you really need to do after one task is done, that it feels like, I feel like I'm going up a hill.
Yep.
And
I was gonna say, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, damn, I was like, he's trying to do this interview with me, and then he has the D&D 12-hour thing, and he's got the wedding stuff and all this it's like, he's got so much on his plate, and I was thinking about it, I was like, I just want to tell him, like, remember to take time for yourself, like, don't, like, I care about you, like, don't burn yourself out, like, you deserve to take time to be like, okay, I'm allowed to take time to rest, to just relax, just chill and do nothing. And, you know, because it's like, when you overwhelm yourself with so much stuff, you're not going to be able to do any of it, because you're like, oh god, well, I need to do this, and it's like, and that'll burn you the fuck out. It's like, take time to, like, I'm just going to rest, read a book, and just, you know, don't overwork yourself, because I see that you're trying to do all this stuff, and I mean, I'm happy for you, and it's awesome, and I'm congrats, you know, getting married, and the content. But it's like, remember to take time for yourself, dude, because you deserve that time for yourself. Because when you burn yourself out like that, it's, you know, it's gonna add to that mental weight that you're carrying around, you know. So
definitely
take care of yourself, you know.
And I think I am lucky enough that, like, there are days, like, for example, like, my days off are normally Sunday and Monday. I think I really luck out having to be able to, like, make, like, so like I make certain time to set aside just to, like, relax with wifey and just relax and sit down, lay down and watch a movie. I always make sure that I always, no matter what I'm doing, that I do put time to just relax, to just, like, turn my brain off and just, like, exist without having to, like, have not necessarily a purpose, but to exist for a few hours out of the day with just no purpose, just scroll, just relax and nothing like that. And I definitely do appreciate you looking out for me, and like, absolutely, just having that, like, just I always say the intention or the good energy to just, like, go, like, I really hope that he does like a lot, that he isn't pushing himself, and I appreciate everything like that. I just want to reiterate to yourself that I appreciate everything you do as well. And I know, like, a lot of people say it's equally as frustrating. I believe it's equally as frustrating to have everything on your plate and nothing on your plate at all. Like, when there's so much stuff that you want to do but you're unable to, that same frustration can definitely come from having so much on your plate and so little time to do it. Like, both of those, I feel like, are the same coin with the same levels of stress. Like, it's very tough, and it's a very boxing situation to kind of, like, not want to be like, okay, well, I have all this time on my hands, I should be doing something, and you're like, but I'm not doing anything, and you're like, yeah, this is like demoralizing. Overall, sorry, my dog is, like, in his little, he hears the other dogs outside, and he's like, oh, these other dogs are close by, I better check them. Or anybody who comes to my door, he's like ready to bark at them, because he doesn't know what they're gonna do. But like as we're keeping on this serious motif, just to like reiterate, there are people in my community that are giving you a big hug and wanting me to let you know that they do care. And I will say this, I am blessed enough that for me streaming has just been a way for me to like not necessarily I guess like I'm not too focused on making this my income, and that this is more of my escape. This is like, oh fuck, I hurt my fucking hangnail. This is like my essentially escape to like be able to like wind down after doing work, or like especially if like I work overnights, so like I'm up all night, like so this is like my like this is like the equivalent of me getting to play video games and just like turn my brain off. I just make content, so it's being able to still play video games, it's being able to make content, make fun stuff for me. It's all of the above, and it's just a place where I get to just not necessarily perform for everybody, but I get to project that and hang out with people. It's essentially me just consolidating everything I want to be able to do and do it just like this. And that's why for me, like I understand when this was like, you want to grow as a streamer, you want to like hit these numbers, like it can get demoralizing. I just always have to remind myself, like, this wasn't never supposed to be me growing and becoming a big thing. Like I wouldn't say I hate fame, but I definitely don't think at this point in time I would be ready for any fame. So right now I'm just excited to just have what I have, whether it's one person or 5 or 10 or 20. Like I'm happy with just having that. Like when I'm ready to blow up, or when I'm ready to like handle like bigger numbers, more people coming in, more engagement, more this and that, then it'll come, and I definitely will be ready. But for now, like this transition from meeting more people and having these people come in, it's enough personally for me. It's not that it's too much. I'm just happy to have like all these new friends and be able to be friends with them, be able to hang out with them. Like I wouldn't say I'm gonna close the show down like next month, but I will definitely be I will definitely be taking like I call it like a seasonal break, like a TV show, how they have season breaks. I'm definitely gonna take a seasonal break from the show, and I will probably try working on a different type of form of content and see how that works out, because I did want to like try and do I'm gonna call them like D&D one-shot dates, where I get to like take and like it was an idea. It's an idea for a video, or like not even a video, like a streaming day of like taking people who've never played D&D before, who are like, or people who are interested but like don't want to like, I call it newbie offensive. Like nobody wants to be the newbie and have to ask all these questions, because people get like scared like that there's somebody that's gonna tell them like, you don't know what you're doing. Like I want to work with like a bunch of people who are like not necessarily virgins to like D&D, but like who are interested enough, who've never had an honest to God chance to try it, or like who've always wanted to try it but they can't seem to ever like find somebody who's wants the DM, because I feel like that's always like the big thing, is people always want to be a player. I like being a GM. I like being the guest character in everybody's show, that like makes everyone like, makes the show go, oh my god, this is when so and so showed up. Like I don't need to be the main character. I just want to be the guest star, just to like make everyone feel like, oh whoa, this guy's here, that's crazy, what is he doing here? And I'm like, you know, cue the recorded applause, I'm here, how's it going?
I definitely I appreciate all the love that you and your community will show and are showing, and it means the world to me. But as far as, you know, us becoming friends, I'm so happy that you and I have clicked and become friends, and I look forward to, you know, a long friendship, and and being a part of your content and you know, just being your friend, and so I definitely look forward to all of that. So
and I thank you, and I it's kind of weird when people are like, why are you thanking friends? And it's like, it's hard in this day and age where like making a friend is done more IRL better than online, because online is very difficult for different people. For me specifically, I feel like if I can't really talk to like, that's why I like sending TikToks and memes and stuff, because there's a level of understanding the type of person you are based off of that.
It's a casual thing. It's supposed to feel casual and not just, oh, you're just another content creator just sending me. It's like, no, it's like, hey man, look at this stupid ass video that I found. It's like, here, look at this stupid thing that I found. Because I have other friends that I send Instagram reels to, or other friends I'll send funny. Like when I made those other posts and I was like, and I tagged you and I was like, haha, he would think this funny.
I did. It was funny. I did crack up.
I saw that one video where the other guy, he has like a terrible headset, and there's one part where he was like, he got like a package. It was like those animal paw things, and he was like, I guarantee there's one child in chat's like, wait a minute, they're free? Dude, I could not stop cracking the fuck up. It's just the way that he said it. It's just so funny. It's like, wait a minute, they're furry?
It's like the best thing ever.
I know. I could not stop cracking the fuck up about it. Or the other video that reminded me of Jello. And it was like, wait, they're come? They got monster. The drink. Or when I told you, there was that episode of King of the Hill where Dale was like pocket sand, and I was like, because I was looking at the character sheet, it was like a bag of sand. I was like, pocket sand. I think I want to go out.
I think it's funny because I didn't recognize that that's not a reference that everyone would get. So like when you said pocket sand, I was like, yeah, I got it, because Dale Gribble, I got it. And I was just thinking, you're like, wow, you got it. And I was like, wait, wouldn't I not have gotten it? Like,
I was like so hesitant because I was like, I don't know. I was like, because it's not really a show everybody watched. Because I was like, I watched it, but I don't know if other people have.
Dude,
because it's like one of those, it's one of those TV shows you're like, I've seen it, but has anyone else seen it?
I've recently rewatched King of the Hill, I want to say like a couple years back, and I still think it holds up to like. I think it is a very good representation of what a non-toxic conservative family looks like, because Bobby is just an out there guy. I love Bobby Hill, dude. Bobby is
definitely just hell on wheels, boy.
He's an out there kid, and Hank is this like hard hitting like Texan man, and for him to like have a son who's like, a lot of people have their theories. People are like, oh, Bobby might be bisexual. I was like, Bobby's just artistic. Bobby has flavor. He just likes to be out there and do him. And I think what I love about the later seasons is Bobby even has a little sass to him anytime Hank tries to like crush a dream of his. And I love like, I just love the flavor that Bobby gets as the show goes on. Like I remember, like to this day, one of my favorite episodes is the Super Bowl episode when they go to meet Bill's cousin, Gilbert Dautry de la Fontaine.
Yeah.
Like I love him. I love Gilbert so much. Like my favorite line is like, "Listen, Robert, a man must know the difference between velvet and velveteen." Like I just love it all. Like it's just, the show has such interesting moments and has such fun characters. I love her, and I see why the internet hates her, but I love how Peggy is. Peggy Hill is a fantastic character to just sometimes want to root against for how much her ego like carries everything.
To me, it's more of a commentary of the older generations, like for example, how my parents were raised, they're Gen X. You know,
Yeah.
they're the never show emotion. You know, the very family. You know, or toxic. I don't want to say toxic, but families that are just so set in their ways, and they just have a way that they live. And Hank is definitely that stereotype of propane and hard work and you know, he's the stereotype of what a man by society standards should be.
Yeah.
And Peggy is, you know, definitely the housewife.
Yeah.
But then you have Bobby, who's like what I think a lot of people, when they would like portray, like for example, a family who has a child that is gay or trans, and the family's like, oh, they're so set in their ways, they're like, oh, I don't get it.
That boy ain't right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, fuck you, I guess. It's like, this is who I am. Like, you know, like, I'm sorry. But I think there are moments when Hank starts to realize, like, you know, he's a little weird, you know, but it's like, you gotta let the boy be. You know, it's like, he's got to find a way to develop his character.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just keep trying to, you know, smother him. It's like, you gotta let the boy live. I mean, and I think it's such a wonderful representation of how society views those types of family dynamics, and it's definitely an interesting show, and it does have its humorous moments, but I love the fact that in my opinion, it's definitely a what's the word I'm looking for? It's
a nice interpretation of what people could have if they weren't just so focused on hate.
Yeah.
I think it's just what I love about the show, and what I love about it is, like, it's not necessarily saying Hank had to change. It's Hank bonding with Bobby and things that they both can appreciate while allowing each of them to have, because it is interesting. I'm not going to say he is on the spectrum, but Hank has a very hard obsession or very hyper fixation with certain things like propane, beer, like sports. Like, he definitely has like these like very hyper fixations on, and it's kind of clear that Bobby himself has very similar hyper fixations on things that just make him happy and make him feel like he's fulfilled. And it does feel like the show is both of them coming to terms that they have each their own thing. Like, I do love the episodes when Hank, quote unquote, gives Bobby his flowers for certain things. Like, we've seen different types of parents on the show. We've seen Dale, who's very he's out there as a father, but he loves his son.
Yeah.
He loves Joseph, and Joseph is by all means Dale's son. Like, inside and out, despite maybe not DNA, but like, he's way too weird to be like John Redcorn. He's just as crazy as his dad enough, and hyper as his dad enough to be like, oh, this is what we like. We like killing stuff and bugs, and then you of course
government is against us.
The government's against us, and then you have you have Khan, who's just so fucking egotistical. He named his only child Khan Jr., despite his child being a girl and him being a man. He's like, no, she needs to be a junior. Like, it's just a quote unquote of the times, and they've done so many good episodes showing us like different aspects of these characters in a different light. We've seen Khan become a redneck, everything he said he'd never be. We've seen Dale, someone who's I wouldn't say he's a classic Texas man, but he's a very, like, he would, if he had a vote for Trump, he definitely would have his own conspiracy theories about it.
Oh, absolutely.
With having a gay dad, Hank learning that his dad is everything that he doesn't ever want to be as a father. And, I mean, for God's sakes, Hank has two brothers. One Japanese.
I have a narrow urethra.
Yeah, the narrow urethra thing is funny. Like, there's just so much to the characters that each of them have just great dynamics with each other. Like, I hate how Hank and his dad are, but I love how Cotton is with Bobby, almost always forgiving, very tolerable of Bobby's weird ways, and never like shitting on Bobby for being like a little out there. He's always like, nope, Bobby's doing this now, so sucks for you, Hank. You ain't gonna like. He will spit on Hank's achievements, but glorify Bobby in a sense. And it's kind of, it's sweet and it's horrible at the same time, because you can't tell if it's out of spite and out of actual love that he has for his grandson.
Right.
Like, everything is just so, like, I want to say it's complicated, but the dynamics are just so complex that it's just fun.
Yeah. Definitely interesting.
No, what's it say? Volcanoisis. I don't know what that is, Scarlet King. You might have to sum that up for your boy. But yeah, I'm just like, I am excited to hang out with more people. I'm excited to have friends. I don't want to say have friends again, because I do have friends IRL that I could talk to and call, but it's just fun to like meet new people and just gel with them and like have such fun interactions. Like, I think I always have fun because we just talk about the weirdest things ever. Like, and it's not weird as in like, wow, that's a weird thing to bring up. It's weird in the sense that like, it's so off topic of something we were just discussing like 5 minutes ago, and that's what makes it funny.
I'm not diagnosed, but I'm so convinced I have ADHD also, because all of my friends and all the people that I'm surrounded by, or all the people that I consider my friends, they all have ADHD. They're autistic or both, or they have mental illnesses. It's like I have this combination of like, my stepsister has ADHD. My stepbrother is all ADHD. He's autistic and ADHD. So
yeah, my wife is that too.
We'll have these, so we'll have these really conversations that go on for hours and hours, just jump from top to top to top, and it's just really, oh god, there's so many conversations I've had with my sister that if I like was to say like online would probably get me locked up. I have said some really, really terrible, like really like out of pocket shit.
Oh yeah.
so
you have ADHD.
Yeah.
But like, I think what it is, and I call it like the tribe mindset, is like, we all look for our own tribes. We all look for like people very much like us, and I think that's why when people are like, I'm not really personally surprised when like people with ADHD or autism or neurodivergence in general all flock to like streaming or online not companion, well, I'll say companionship, because companionship means all types of relationships. They all come and they all like congregate online, because it's very tough when you don't have that tribe. Like, it's hard to sniff it out. I mean, you look, I think unawarely we flock to people that are very similar to us, and that's what kind of like comes to the conversation. Like, wow, all my friends have ADHD. That was weird. I wonder how that happened. And it's very much just us establishing a tribe with people who are very much like us, and I can see why, and I can see why that works on a good scale. Like, it shows how healthy, healthy community habits. But I can see how that could be toxic as well, because if you have a very toxic mindset, you will definitely flock to people who have the same toxic mindset as you, and will reaffirm that same like judgments that you have.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So, as someone who has like clinical severe legitimate like clinical depression, I'm diagnosed clinically depression. I should be on medicine for it, but I'm not.
Sadly.
But as someone who grew up in, like I said, in an abusive household, chaotic, and with mental health issues, I ended up with depression, anxiety, And I've recently learned I have depersonalization/derealization disorder. If you don't know what that is.
I do not. You can educate me on that right now.
So, depersonalization/derealization disorder is this it's kind of like you're an outsider looking in, almost as if you are not connected to yourself. And for a lot of people, and the other end of it is what a lot of people would call like spacing out, or when they dissociate. It's based dissociation. Basically, you disconnect from reality to the point where nothing feels real. You feel like you're in a simulation, or you feel like reality is not. You'll do something really fucked up and be like, I don't have to worry about it. There's no consequences. This isn't real. But then when you come that and you come back to reality, you're like, oh, this had actual consequences to it. I shouldn't have done that because now I put myself in a fucked up position because I did something I thought wasn't real.
Yeah.
So, but being as someone who grew up with depression and then realizing all this other stuff that I have, I have surrounded myself essentially with the idea of misery loves company.
Yeah.
People that are miserable will surround themselves with other people that are negative and pessimistic and miserable and depressed and have fucked up lives. And for so long, I'm like, why do I keep attracting these kind of people that I feel like they're so fucking broken? And I'm like, oh my God, like this is exhausting. And I'm like, I'm the fucking problem. It's me. I got to start with myself and fix me. Because once you fix yourself, then you flock to better people once you realize that.
I can agree to that. And I'll say, like, because this is not like a dig at you, but I think what like is a lot of it's trouble. It's not that it's troubling, but it's hard when you're kind of like stuck in a spiral and you can't just like get out right away. And like the people who surround, like I had a friend and he's since changed. I want to say for the better. He's done a weird whole like very illegal things, like insane illegal. Like I'm just kind of like I'm almost impressed because it's such a huge 180. But he originally was this kind of like, I wouldn't say a loner, but he had this like loner mindset where he was like, I just kind of want us to be miserable and talk shit about people and not have to like face consequences for the shit we talk. And I remember one day somebody that he used to talk shit about, a mutual friend of ours, that he was kind of like, he stopped wanting to hang out with him because the guy was doing bigger and better things. He had a girlfriend. He was like, I guess he was just banging, and that pissed him off. Like he kind of had like that kind of almost incel mindset, and he kind of wanted us to kind of adopt the same thing too. But the difference was like, we all had been, I don't say we're fortunate. We just had better relationships with women, that we were not in that same boat as being, someone who's dry like him. And so I think he understood that, but so he always approached it as like, it's our group against everybody else. And it really happened one day he got checked and he just shut down for a while. He stopped messaging us. He stopped coming out. And it was really evident when he told us, like, you guys were supposed to, like, get my back. You guys were supposed to say this. I'm like, what are we supposed to do? Like, you were the one who's only been talking crap. We haven't been. And it was really evident, like, because he was just mad that we would do stuff without him. And it wasn't we were doing it on purpose. We were just doing stuff because we just didn't want to be talking crap, that you can only be so negative for so long that you start noticing it yourself. And he was like, so you guys don't want to hang out with me anymore? It's like, no, we do want to hang out with you. And then like that's why we're hanging out right now. And then he's like, well, why didn't you guys call me to go hiking with you guys? And we're like, because that's kind of a happy thing to do, and we didn't want to focus on the negative. And he just got mad. He was like, oh, but you invite the girls, you invite these guys. And I'm like, yeah, because those guys are happy. Those guys wanted to hike. They wanted to have fun. Like, this was a fun thing for us. And he was just like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And we were just like, what do you want? Do you want us to be miserable? And then he kind of said it. He was like, yeah, I want everyone to be fucking miserable, too. He goes, you know what sucks? Not having a fucking a person, not having a girlfriend, not this. Like, all we do is just hang out at a table, get food, and talk shit. And I was like, because that's what you want to do. Like, we would like to like try to do other stuff. We would like to like, you know, meet new people, but you're just very set in your ways. You're very gatekeeping about a lot of stuff, and you get like, and even when girls would hit on him or like kind of dug him or would try to like flirt with him, he would just kind of like go, oh, okay. Like he wouldn't even attempt to make conversation with them. And it was just very evident that like your misery does love company, but I mean, there is not necessarily a time like for you're self-aware to go like, you know what, I think this is on me, and I should try to make a change. And you're not necessarily going to cure depression. God forbid, that's the hardest thing to do in the world. There's not really a cure for it. But you did kind of go like, okay, I'm depressed, but I want to change the people I surround myself with because they're just going to make my depression worse. He basically wanted to poison us so we also would be worse.
Poisoning the well,
Yeah, and I used to, and I knew he would always do this, and I was aware of it too. And I think there is a little play on my part. I wanted to be poisoned, but I would purposely do things to piss him off too. Like I would eat my ice cream and make sounds like I'm sucking dick, and he just to like make him uncomfortable, because that made him uncomfortable. Gay people made him uncomfortable, I guess. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I knew he hated that kind of stuff. And then he was like, "Why do you eat your ice cream like that?" I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mess on my face. And like I would purposely say innuendos that I know could like come off that way, and I would play it off like I had no idea. And I'd always let my other buddy, and he would crack up because he would just enjoy. He knew that this was coming, and he knew that they would do this, and he just couldn't help but laugh.
Right.
But it was one of those things where like just that was, I guess to me that was proof that like, okay, so then you're not ready to have more people in your circle, because anybody that's just slightly different or does something you don't like, you're gonna just talk shit about it. Because he did talk shit about it, and I knew he did. And my other friend would be like, yeah, he talks shit about the fact that you do that. I'm like, I know he does. Trust me, I don't need to be there to know that he is. But that's just more proof for the, more proof for the evidence, or more evidence for the proof that he couldn't handle adding more people in the group as much as he wanted to, have a girlfriend or something like that. Like he just needed to surround himself with people who were different than us, because I think we were just too placating to him, or just too like we were just too affirming for his own beliefs about like being negative and just being piece of shit. And that's, the world wants you to be a piece of shit kind of like mentality that he was having. Now he's a drug dealer, I think, or a drug lord. I can't remember what he is.
Jesus.
Yeah, he changed he did a huge 180. Did a huge one.
Well,
in GTA.
What's helped me?
Well, I'll say that in GTA because I'm on TikTok as well. I'll say that in GTA, so that way they don't try to like flag him for that.
Right. Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I will say what's helped me is the last 2 going on later this year will be 3 years of I've been in therapy for the last 2 years.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, I at one point was having a conversation with my family, and they were they pretty much gaslit me into, they were like, well, you're the issue, that like you need therapy. And I was like, am I really that much of a terrible fucking person? But now that I've like gone through therapy, and I'm still in therapy, I just haven't gone a while, but being that I've had therapy, and I've started to realize, well, I need to work on myself, because I realize that I'm not doing well, and I needed to do better for myself so I can be happier. And therapy has really helped me with that, as well as, like I said, the coven that I'm a part of have become like a family, and I've the other friends that I've made from working retail, and all that I've made from having that support system, and having the therapy, and trying to work better on myself to have better people to surround myself with, has helped me have a more positive optimistic outlook, because I used to be so negative and pessimistic. I was such a miserable piece of shit to be around, and I realized that, you know, it's like, damn, it's like, no wonder no one wanted to be around me. I was like miserable all the time. like really, like that's the truth. But now I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's hard. I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna, you know, sometimes I still might be a little bit miserable, but it's like, I've got to do this for myself, and that's kind of why I haven't succumbed to my depression and taken my life, because I'm like, I'm fighting, because I'm like, there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be the light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be more, and that's what I'm fighting for, because I'm not ready to quit this fight, because I'm like, there has to be a light at the end of this tunnel. There has to be more out of life than just this misery. So that's what I'm fighting for, to get better towards. So
yeah. I was gonna ask you this, and then somebody else had a question for you. But is it exhausting when people think, like, when you say depressed, like, it's people like, oh man, are you sad all the time? And it's like, no, I'm tired all the time. I'm tired of everything.
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't know if that's like a weird, like, a little different spin on what you normally would like explain to people.
No, I like that. My therapist basically would challenge me, and I have friends that would play the devil advocate for me, and I like other perspectives. But I mean, being depressed is not fun. It sucks.
Yeah.
It really fucking blows. But it's not just, oh, like, I'm just sad, but it's like, no, it's like, when you grow up a certain way and you have people that basically treat you like if you would have died, it'd be like nothing would change. It's like, and you deal with a lot of shit in your head, and you're always in, like, shit's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's so fucking exhausting. Oh my god. I mainly don't get questions about it, mainly because I don't talk about it unless it's like with people that I trust or people that I feel comfortable mentioning it to, because other than that, I don't really. So.
And I think people do kind of, I want to say they horrify it, or I'm trying to think of the word for it. The opposite of glorify.
Glorify?
It's like the opposite of glorify.
Okay,
demonize.
like demonized.
Yeah. I think people demonize depression a lot, and they have like I want to say an outdated, but a very like weird way of looking at it. Like, oh, like, I don't know if you've ever seen The Office, when Dwight's like, depression, isn't that just a fancy way of saying bummed out? Of like a lot of people.
It goes back to what we were talking about, empathy.
Yeah.
Everybody just lacks empathy. And like, here's the thing. I have such strong empathy, even for absolute fucking strangers. Like, there's times, like, for example, I'm like scrolling through my phone and I'll see like a video of someone crying because their friend passed away or their cat just died, and I'm like bawling my fucking eyes out over this stranger on the internet that I don't fucking know at all.
You do have ADHD.
Because I do.
One of those is like hyper empathy, like just like the empathy for like a bunch of stuff. Like,
because I've had two of my own cats die.
Oh.
My best friend's cat, who I loved, died back in October. I've had a friend die from overdose. My brother died of diabetes. I've had friends die from car wrecks, suicide, overdose. I've lost so many fucking people at this point, where when I see other people hurting, shit breaks my fucking heart, because I feel for other people. And that's why sometimes scrolling through social media fucks with my mental health. And sometimes I have to stop and put my phone down, because I'm like, this is too much right now. Like, because it's like, I feel for so many people that are dealing with being poor and being evicted from their homes because they can't feed their kids and put a roof over. So it's like, I have so much empathy, because it's not just I feel no, I don't just feel so, because this is the shit that I've gone through. This shit I've been through, so I know how much this shit sucks. So it's just I have empathy.
Yeah, and I think it's not really it's a slippery slope to fall into that well of like, oh my god, like because all it takes is one video. Next thing you know, you're going down the rabbit hole of like sad videos. Like I do it to myself. I always say I like to purposely make myself cry watching something that I know is sad. But the thing is, I will pick the videos that make me sad only because I like to control what makes me have that reaction, and it's that level of control that allows me to like safely just be vulnerable with like a video. Like for example, one thing that always makes me cry is it's a scene from Man of Steel, and I always say it's one of my favorite scenes. It's the scene when Superman as a child asks if he could still be his dad's son, and his dad hugs him and goes like, "You are my son, like that doesn't change anything." Like that will make me cry like happy tears, like legitly, like just like sympathetic tears. Another one is How to Train Your Dragon 2, when Stoic sings to Valka and he asks her to be his wife one last time. Like it's just such a beautiful song that he sings to her, and it's not that it's the song, it's not anything else, it's just the proclamation of loving somebody so much and thought that they were gone only to have them back in your life. That's what makes me like happy cry. Like there's I call it happy cry. It's not really me being happy because the situations could be sad, but it's just it's a reminder to me that like there's pain in the world and then there's relief to that pain, and both will make you cry.
Right. Yep.
But we're almost done. It's already 5. I don't want to keep keeping you on. Hi, Tene Burris.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, I don't want to. I didn't know if you had anything to do. That's why.
No. I got nothing after this.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm not like keeping you for something. I will have to take my dog out in a second.
No, not at all.
We will wrap up. Wrap up in a bit. I did want to say, it's been fucking awesome hanging out with you. Like, I fucking love this shit. Like,
I know.
People always like. I think a lot of people kind of like watch the show and go, "What's it about?" And I'm like, it's just me sitting down with friends. That's really what it is. It's just me sitting down and having like a legit time to be able to meet a person that I like and enjoy being with,
right? And
just being lost in our own like tangents and things that we like and stuff we can like, bond with, and
right.
That's really what this show's about. Like, again, I do have like always like questions for people just so I can keep conversation going, and I have like sometimes they're directed at VTubing, sometimes it's directed at streaming, and I always try to keep it like somewhat in that realm. But I think what genuinely makes a fun episode is just seeing two people just talk about things they like, hanging out, doing whatever like comes to their mind, because I think that's where the genuine conversations come from, is
absolutely
both people being able to just kind of not feel like they have to be in a box or they have to stay to a script. And to me, that's what's just made streaming fun altogether, is being able to just like have these interactions. Again, that's why I say thank you again for being a guest and for hanging out with me.
Of course. Anytime you want another guest, I'm always happy to come back and do this more. I'm always happy to come back. I appreciate you, and it's such an honor and a privilege for you to have me. But yeah, I'm definitely happy to come back anytime.
You're fucking amazing. We did have questions for you from
too.
Els. I don't know, and this might be a little too personal, but she did ask, what type of coven are you part of, or what's the coven name that you're part of?
So my coven is I have to look it up because I don't remember by heart. I have the messages. It's basically just a witch coven. It is the coven of the Lunar Phoenix.
Ooh.
But it's just funny enough, I'm actually the only male witch in that group, in the coven. I'm the only male witch in the coven. But yeah.
Awesome. Oh my God, Sunshine. I like how everyone's like, oh, he's almost done. We better just attack him now. Sunshine. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I do like the idea of a coven. My partner's a practicing Fey Witch. I'm simply just I'm descended from shamans.
I'm more of a chaos witch. I just kind of just that. I'm a very spiritual person, and I just kind of do whatever feels right to me in the moment.
Oh, that's cute. I guess Elves is also a part of a coven. They're part of the Celestial Scarlet Rose.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Elves. Hey, more information. I dig it. But we're approaching the end here, bud. I was gonna say, do you have anybody that you would like to raid? Since I like to let the guest lead the raids.
I don't know if there's anybody that I would want to raid, because I don't know if any of my other friends are on currently. No, not right now.
That's okay. I definitely think I could find I could probably find somebody who's live right now. Let me just check. If not, we could just end it here. That's also fine. I'm not against a simple like ending episode.
Right. But yeah, I appreciate you having me. And I'm always happy to come back on and participate in your other content. And I'm happy that we became friends. And I'm always just a call away if you ever want to just chat, whatever. So thank you.
For sure. Thank you again, bud. This is Cinder. Everybody, go check him out.
Thank you.
You've just been killing the game, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I'm excited to keep hanging out with you and keep working with you on more stuff.
Absolutely.
Yep. Anything you want to have going on that you want to tell the people before we go?
I'm working on trying to put more content out. I'm currently working on more scripts for voice acting on my ASMR channel by the name ASMR Roleplay Haven. I'm doing more scripts for voice acting, and I'm just trying to put myself out there more. That's
you want to put the link in the chat box so that way people can go find it, or yeah.
Give me just a second. Let me do that. But yeah, I'm just trying to do that and just trying to find time to stream. If I can get to it. Give me a minute, sorry.
You're good, no worries.
There we go. There's the link, so anybody can check out my voice acting stuff that I have. It's only a few videos, but I'm writing more scripts and I'm trying to
dude, and all your content is fucking fantastic, dude. I liked watching your videos. I think you have a good style of ASMR that you provide, a good style of voice acting. I am excited that you did audition for my Marvel Rivals.
Yes, I did.
Audio drama that again, I'm still looking for more voice actors. That's why I always have everybody try to voice act for everything, so I can get like a good ear for everybody. And I laughed at like everybody's like, I think I just want to do one. I'm like, are you sure? You don't want to do more?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, one and done. One and done is fine for me. And I'm like, okay. But it's been a joy, my bud. I will catch you later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.